How's it, everybody? Welcome back to Rocky Fern. My name is Luca and I have OI Type 4. And in today's episode, we're continuing the house tour with the succulent garden. So let's get into it. Okay, so we kind of give you a setup of what I'm looking at. There's one section of it. And then we have the other section. And then I have some that are on this little wall right here. So let's go check it out. All right, guys, let's start off here, right to left. So right here we have my Ficus Alaska Teneki, and it's a beautiful Home Depot find. It was really, really small in a 4-inch pot. I mean, just bone dry when I got it. These guys can handle drought better than a lot of succulents, so that's pretty freaking awesome. And down here I have another Ficus Alaska. This is the Moonlight, I believe, the Schneeria. I'll put everything on the screen as always. And down here we have a cotyledon. This is the bear paw, the panda paw. This plant was originally the one that was inside the homemade panda pot that I made because Lily loves pandas, but then I thought it was kind of macabre to have a panda with a basket carrying a bunch of panda parts. So we switched it. Then we have another cotyledon. This is another type of bear paw. This gets really nice flush pink tips. These two are the dwarf sunrose, I believe, the variegated sunrose. I had a flower, oh, it fell off already, darn. They're really nice pink daisy-like flowers. Grab and I picked these on a walk we went on. These were the original propagations that were in the lily basket. As we come up here, we have a Platycerium ridleyi that's making a big comeback. I bought it for a really good deal because it was a recovering Platycerium. But this shield frond and then these fertile fronds are all within my care, so it's starting to come back. I love the ridges on the shield fronds, and then it's just mounted on some driftwood I found at the beach with just some moss that's hanging. So I love this plant. This is a type of queen of the night. I think it's Selenocereus. I'm not sure which species. This we found also on a walk that I took just a tiny little cutting. And actually, while we're talking about those, I have a bunch up there that I'm using for future rootstock. At least that's the plan. So they're just kind of in a hodgepodge of different things. We'll work our way actually over here. So in this collection right here, I have kind of all of my globe-like cactus, and there is a ton in here. I'm gonna do my best to remember it, but for some reason, when I get put on the spot, when I'm recording, I have a really hard time reciting things. So anyway, right here we have my beautiful blue barrel cactus. This is the Melocactus azureus. This Melocactus is really cool because these guys are the ones, much like this Melocactus, are the ones that will start to, once they reach their adult form, they'll start growing a flower structure that is red and fuzzy. It looks like a Turk's cap, which is the other name for these guys, is Turk's cap cactus. Let me get real close on that guy. You can see the color. And that's where they flower from solely, and then they stop growing as a plant for the base. I'm gonna be real careful around here. This is Melocactus montanzanus. This is also an amazing Melocactus. It'd be kind of cool once they reach size to start growing the Turk's cap. Then right here I have I have to turn it away from the sun. This is a Melocactus. Oh my goodness. I'll put it on the Alternus, I think, but I'll put it on the screen. I love the coloring on this because the new spines are red. Oh, and they turn into that nice dark purple. Right there we have a white spined golden barrel cactus. That's Phaerocactus grusoni. And then a normal barrel cactus, grusoni. And then right here we have a Titantoa agave. That's actually getting really nice size on it. This whole garden is kind of, just be careful. Here are my 3 different plants that I came off of one plant that I split. This is the Trichoderma densum. These guys make awesome bonsai. They have beautiful pink daisy-like flowers. So a lot of people will slowly raise these out of the soil and exposing more and more of the roots, and they get these really cool intricate root structures. This is the Madagascar Ocotillo. This right here is oh my goodness, please, I'm having a hard time here. This is Stapeliad. These are Stapelia grandifolia that we actually picked here in Kauai. They're kind of an invasive species, and they're all over on the west side. So I just picked a big clump and started growing that. This is Sully. This guy is awesome. This is also Pherocactus ingens grandis, I believe, or grandis ingens. This is the Strombocactus disciformis. Beautiful plant. I love that shape. Here's a pretty thirsty Pherocactus right here. This is also known as the fire barrel. This is Pherocactus gracilis. It's kind of cool. And then as we come forward, this is a Phelocactus lloydii, and that's actually in bloom. It's got some flower buds growing. Then right here we have another fish-hook cactus. This is Pherocactus latispinus. And I love my barrel cactus, but look at that cool little hook that it has right here. This guy back here is an awesome plant. This is Phelocactus conophelus. Please don't poke me, buddy. Back there is an Astichia mexicanum. That's obviously grafted, which is totally cool with me. Then back here we have a pachyderma or pachyclada, the Madagascar palm. It's not a true palm, but it is from Madagascar. And we have two more pachycladas. This is cactus right here. Very cool plant. And then this guy back here is Pachypodium. That's what it is, Berticalli. So these are all Pachypodiums. Before I keep going over there, I'm gonna come back again real quick. This guy is a Phelocactus rinconensis, and I love the geometric shapes on that. That is such a pretty cactus. Really pretty. Okay. Then right here we have the Echinopsis ionis. This is variegated, and the variegation on this plant isn't anything to really get too excited about, but it is nice to have. These things are also called the domino cactus, I believe. This was a freebie in one of the shipments. This is what I believe to be Crassula rupestris, I think. And then up here, a bunch of seedlings that I grew of Agave Conte. These guys get just enormous 12-inch long leaves that are pure stark white with a nice purple-blue tinge. And then right here I have a Dudleya. These guys are cool California native. Dudleya Noma S.W. McGabe. And so far it's doing okay. Let's get real close here. These are all Agave Contes. So that's kind of cool. All right, I'll come back over here now. This is why I have all the rocks kicked out. No matter how much cleaning I do, these guys always come in all the anoles and start kicking stuff out. This guy is a Pachycormus discolor. I think it's a Mexican native, and it's still in its winter dormancy, I believe. I hope I haven't overwatered it. They tend to be pretty sensitive to that. This is a gastraloe, I think. It didn't come with any labeling on it, so I think it's a gastraloe. Then these two are aloe strawberry jam. This is a pup that I propagated from it. Let's finish off the front. Okay, so this guy and this guy right here are an agave. I think they're Peralta or Penialta. I can't remember. The label got sun bleached, so I can't tell. This is a spider aloe. These two are another type of aloe where the labeling came off. These two right here are Titanoa. Well, luckily this one didn't come off. This is Titanota B and B, and that was from an Etsy shop. That guy was awesome. This is an agave, Agave isthmensis, the Ohiraijan Shiro. I think it's the Nakahui, but it's the white variegated one. There's a yellow one as well. This is that regal agave. This is another type of agave. I'll put the name on here. These two are also a type of agave. I don't think I have them labeled. Then we'll get into the Thelocactus. I have two Thelocactus geometricans, 1 and 2. This guy came off of this guy. This is Thelocactus. It's the paper spine one, peppery. Let's see here. Thelocactus articulatus, the peppercanthus. So that's kind of cool. This is the Thelocactus moliensis, and this is Thelocactus, the pinecone cactus, strombiformis. So these guys are really cool. Then right here I have a Stenocactus benekii. Then this is a Peruvian apple cactus that we picked here on island. I picked this whole piece actually up to about here. This whole new part started growing, but it was about down here. Then we have a very cool fan aloe. Let's not skip over this pot right here. This pot has an agave, another type of agave right here, and then 2 different aloes. This is a strawberry jam aloe that I planted. I think it's actually a pup from this guy, but notice how much redder he is. Then this one right here, coming back here. These guys are some of my favorite plants. This is a Caroluma socotra. So these guys come from the Socotra Islands, or island, and they're very cool. This is an Ariocarpus physoratus, the Godzilla, I believe. This is an Ariocarpus retusus. This is an Ariocarpus trigonus. Very nice form. It pushed out a fruit, and I have a bunch of seeds growing from this. I didn't actually pollinate it here. This is the world's smallest cactus, grafted to a type of dragon fruit, I believe. This is Blasophcereus. I can't remember the name. Here's another Ariocarpus right here. This is Ariocarpus physoratus deloidii. Fuzziness on it. Okay, as we leave section 2, we'll come up to this guy. This is another baby Platycerium. This is Platycerium. Let's check out the back. Platycerium veitchii, the lemoni. So it's also just mounted to a piece of wood, and it's facing that way because the sun comes from this way, and it gets a ton of sun, not too much water. Let's finish the other one real quick. This is another Platycerium. This is your typical staghorn that we rescued from a local nursery. It was just found on the ground, and they gave it to me and my son for like $6, I think. And it was originally just this one, but then this guy shot off and started growing, and now there's this guy, and this is mounted into a coconut. So it's kind of cool, and it gets, this guy likes a lot more water than the other two. So as it rains, it will drip in here and fill it up. This is my big Opuntia that actually has a ripe fruit on it. And at the bottom I planted two other Opuntia to help with cross-pollination. This is the Sunburst Opuntia pad that I just recently got, but it's rooted and is starting to take off. And then this is Joseph's Jacket. This is another Opuntia. I believe it's, I'll put the name on there, but that's a very cool variegated Opuntia. We'll go back, I promise. But then this guy is also a type of, I don't know, it's a flower, an ornamental flower that we found way up in the mountains here. It's not native, but we just took a bulb and it started spreading like crazy. I don't think it likes the heat of the summer, so it's starting to die back a little bit, but it should come back later in the year. Okay, so we left off on these two, so now we're gonna go to this guy. This is my Larilegia cactiformis. This bloomed, and I have some pictures of that. That was awesome. Here's a peanut cactus. And then this is one of its propagations. And then an andromyscus. This is andromyscus. antidorcatum. That's really cool. And then that's also, when I got it, this had fallen off, and so I decided to propagate that. And then right here we have some Echeveria. This guy is not doing so good. It's still trying to recover. I overwatered it, and so now I'm being very diligent on not giving it too much water, but it's needing some water. But it's also looking like it's going to go into a little bit of a winter sleep. This is another Echeveria. This is Echeveria agavoides red blush. And in the summertime, this whole thing will get really, really red. This is the Sempervirgum arachnoideum, or also known as chicken hen. And originally it was just this one, and then it has all these major offsets, and this is a double-headed offset right here. That's kind of cool. And we have another Echeveria agavoides, but I'm not sure which one this one is. This I got at a local nursery, and they didn't have it tagged. Then this guy is a Titanopsis calcarea, the concrete leaf plant. This is very cool. This is another Andromyscus. This is the Mammillaria, the version Hare, or variant Hare. Very cool. It's starting to come back here. This is an Andromyscus. They didn't give me a label when they gave it to me as a freebie, but it's also known as Plo Reg. I freaking love that plant. And here we have a pot of silver, I think it's a silver squill, the leopard lily. And what's cool is I have a variegated one back here that takes just as much sun as the normal ones. So, very cool succulent bulb. Has a ton of bulbs in there. Okay, so then we have two different individuals of the same plant. This is Eulichnia castaneus, the spiralis variated. Let me try that again. Eulichnia castanea. The variant is the spiralis. And what's kind of cool is I used to think there were two different variants, because you had this one spiral that's all spiral, and then you had this one that kind of had like little pleats in it. No idea why it's doing that. It has pleats in it, but nope. Eventually it'll start to spiral. This guy will eventually start to spiral, I think. This is one of my stink plants right here. This guy is so cool. Let's see if we can, I can't get a smell off of it, but if you look back there, there's a flower. Looks like rounding meat, and then we have another flower forming. But this is Haworthia. Let me just grab the tag, because it's going to be too hard for me to do this one-handed. Okay, so this is Haworthia palanzi, and it's such a cool plant. I love my weird and funky succulents. This is a old woman of the Andes cactus. This is Epistoa melanostele. Get that guy in there. Then this is the old man of the Andes. He's a lot more prickly. This is Oreoserius trollii, or trolley. And then I have my Echinocerius rigidissimus, the rainbow hedgehog. I also have another rainbow hedgehog, but this is the white form. This had a variegated Aerocarpus on there, but because I didn't cut off the pups, it grew the pups, and then it took the energy from here, so then this died. So I'm keeping it for future rootstock. This is the original Joseph's jacket that I was talking about. I got that at Home Depot, which is kind of cool. It's smaller, and it had two different plants in there, so I split it. Put one, like I said, down there, and one in its own pot. Right here we have a Cleistocactus straussii, I want to say silver torch cactus. And right here we have some blue cactus. I love my blue cactus. This guy came in and he was pure yellow when I got him. He did not like the transit, but he's regained his color. This is Pilocerius pachyclatus, the azure, and I love it because it is a little bit different than my other blue cactus, such as the guy next to him, which is actually more green. That guy is, let me get a little bit closer here. That guy, if I don't get poked here, is Pilocerius pachyclatus, and it's not necessarily azure, but it's definitely a blue cactus. It's not as blue. This is a Home Depot find. Oh, got myself. This is a Home Depot find. I don't know what that is. To me, it looks like monstrose form of whatever it is. Then right here, we have my other blue cactus. It's doing really, really well. This guy, I thought for sure I was gonna lose when I got him in transit, but he's super woolly. This is Pilocereus azureus. Very, very pretty. And this guy is another Caroluma. This is Caroluma speciosa, and it is such a cool plant. I can't wait for these guys to flower. You will bet that I'll make sure to post the pictures, but they have big red flowers. This is my booby cactus. It has really nice blue color. I don't know if that's coming up on the screen, but beautiful coloring. This is my totem cactus, totem pole cactus. Very, very cool. So that's first section. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Hope not. Other than this guy. This is Welwitschia mirabilis. Very cool plant, nice long pot. And these guys actually need a lot more water than I think I thought they did. So when it rains, it does get a little bit of water in here. So it does get a little bit of water about once or twice a week. Keep moving across here. All right, so this was my beautiful, beautiful dewy pine. Fortunately, I lost, and I think it's with all the rain, it rooted out. They come from a Mediterranean climate, so they have very hot, dry summers and kind of more moderately wet winters. So I'll definitely be getting another one. I had pictures of the beautiful yellow flowers, which were amazing, very pretty. And you want to talk about a heavy hitter for eating flies and just different insects, mosquitoes mainly. This is your guy. I have a lot of carnivorous plants, but this guy, oh man, he was crazy in the amount of food he ate. This is a Kalanchoe beharensis that I got. These guys get enormous. This was found at the Desert Botanical Gardens down in Poipu, and we just took a little seedling that was in the pathway that they were going to mow down anyway. This is another type of dragon fruit that we took the single pad from. They're also invasive and growing pretty much everywhere they can survive. It's a cool little spider right there. This is a cordyline. I think this is a variegated tea plant. Take this from my neighbor's house. This is another dragon fruit, but I use it more so as a like a volunteer plant for the slugs. They go for this plant first, and you can see all the slug damage and snail damage. So I come out here about every night and take care of the slugs and snails, but they go for this guy first, which is what I appreciate. And over here we have another type of agave. I don't know what kind it is, but this is my favorite view of this agave. If you can look in the center, with new leaves and more light, this would be all yellow and green spines that slowly fade out to orange, red, maroon, and then black down here. So you get this whole kaleidoscope, rainbow kaleidoscope in here. It's got a ton of pups, and I'm not sure if it needs water. It might need some water, but we'll make sure to water that here after the video. And then we're gonna come and take a look at this next major section. Huge. Okay, so starting over here, we have my Mealy's. This is Euphorbia Mealy, my non-variegated. We just did a repot on this. This is my variegated one. This guy, I make a fool every time I try to say it. This is Brinkhamia insignis. This is a Kauai native. And what's cool about these guys, they're very prone to spider mites, I always check. What's cool about these are cabbage trees. They have beautiful flowers. They're functionally extinct in the wild because the pollinator, which we believe was a moth, is no longer intact. So unfortunately they cannot breed in the wild, which is unfortunate. I have 3 Euphorbia Mammillaria that are variegated, the corncob Euphorbia. So there's 1, 2, and then I have one here, and they all came from the same pot that I split. This was a Euphorbia from an enormous, like 30-foot tall Euphorbia. I took a little piece out of the Desert Botanical Gardens, and it's starting to flush with some new growth. This I think is called the Zipper Euphorbia. This is also from the same garden. They don't have tags necessarily, so I think this is the Zipper Euphorbia. Could be wrong, but it's another columnar or candelabra style. Right here we have the Euphorbia piscidermis, the fish scale Euphorbia. Right here we have the Euphorbia Humberti. This is one of my favorite favorite euphorbias. Look at that really dark leaf structure, and then check this out. Bam! Just gorgeous leaf. They look a lot like the Madagascar jewel euphorbia in its growth, but much different. These guys have neon yellow, neon silver veining against a nice deep dark green leaf with some red highlights, but no dark underside. Coming back, this is called the dwarf saguaro, which it's not a cactus at all. This is another agave. This is another euphorbia. This is Euphorbia aeruginosa, or aeruginosa, however you would want to say that. Careful. Okay. And back here we have a Euphorbia. I think this is the Lactea, but I could be wrong. And then we have my Euphorbia amac, which I did a video on. This is a variegated Euphorbia Abdelkuri. And again, same thing. I had a bunch of side shoots that I didn't cut off, and it started to die back. I cut them off, and it started redirecting growth in here. So I'm hoping I can save what little bit of Euphorbia is left. This is Euphorbia Suzanne. No, sorry. This is Columnaris. This is really cool. These look like little bull horns. This is Euphorbia horrida. Big old clump of that. This is another Euphorbia horrida. Back there is a growth from this plant right here. This is another Euphorbia. I'm not sure. Maybe Canariensis. I'm not sure. This is Euphorbia flagellanella, I believe. Euphorbia flanagani. This is a Medusa style Euphorbia, and it's just flush with growth. It's awesome. This is Euphorbia Suzanne, or Suzanne. It's doing really awesome. This is Euphorbia platyclada, which will self-seed. So right here, this pod right here is gonna seed soon. I already have about 15 seeds from this guy, and this is a brand new seed pod, and they're viable. I have some seeds that have taken off. This is a Euphorbia Abdelkuri, the normal form, which is beautiful. It's starting to get a little sun stress, I believe. Back here is one of my newest Euphorbias. This guy is Euphorbia septentrionalis, the subspecies Gammagutana. Say that 10 times fast. Sorry. Let's get real close on that. Then back here we have my Euphorbia, I think it's contrast. At the Confinalis. I ran out of memory, so I had to go clear a bunch of stuff off. And I realized I am sounding kind of funny because I am outside and the neighbor's looking at me. So it's kind of a first for me. And then I think we jumped over to the Monodinium right here, the Guntheri. This is such a cool plant, beautiful purple leaves that it's starting to come flush with, and the variegation is normal. I don't know if it is variegated, but that coloring is amazing. Love it. Speaking of monodiniums, this is Monodinium spectabile. Beautiful big leaves on this, thick succulent leaves, and then a very cool structure down there. A lot of monodiniums do this kind of tubercle growth pattern, I noticed. And this is variegated Monodinium Ricci. Why is it doing that? There you go, just focus. Really pretty leaves. These also kind of get purple colored leaves when they come out. Very cool. Let's see if I can fix this. Alright, that's good. Okay. Then we have a Euphorbia polygona snowflake. Very cool. There's another Medusa style Euphorbia. This is Euphorbia stellata. These are fire sticks. Euphorbia triticale or terracali. Euphorbia terracali. One of these guys came from the desert gardens down in Poipu, and what I noticed is, if it will focus, is it is blooming right now. Very cool. This is a Euphorbia lactea, the white ghost. This is Euphorbia lactea, the pink. Starting to get some nice new growth on there. Here is Euphorbia. This is a very cool sprawling Euphorbia. This is Euphorbia Cap Saint Mariensis. Very cool. Let's get a side profile there of the trunk if we can. Very cool caduciform style Euphorbia. They get real low and just kind of sprawl out. This guy right here is Euphorbia Nuthi. Very pretty coloring, cool. This is also very similar Euphorbia, a little bit different variegation, a little bit different color. The seller didn't know if it was a true Greenway, so they sent it to me as one, but with the caveat that it might not be. In the back there are some more Euphorbia snowflake. Here's one of my last Euphorbia medusas. This is Euphorbia esquilanta inermis. Back here is a crested Euphorbia that I got at the Desert Gardens. I'm not sure what kind it is, but it is cresting. And half the growth was crested, the other half was normal. We'll go take a look at that particular Euphorbia when we go check out the gardens. These are the seedling Euphorbia leuconuras, the jewel Euphorbia, and this is the mother plant in need of a drink. This is one that I didn't water after I transplanted it, so this will be the first drink. Oh, we're in for a freaking surprise, you guys. My Astrophytum capricornis is in bloom. Check that out. Bam. This thing has been sitting on this blossom bloom for a long time. Isn't that freaking cool? Oh, that's so pretty. Let me just smell it. Oh, it does have a nice smell to it. So this came to me not labeled, but I think it's Astrophytum capricornis. So I could be wrong about that, but wow, isn't that amazing? Yes, it is. Now we're going to be getting into my Gymnocalyciums and my Copiopoas that are being kept outdoors. So this is Gymnocalycium spegazzini. Very cool. This is kind of a weird cactus. This is the Agave cactus, also known as Luchenbergia principis, as opposed to Luchenura cactiformis. So anyway, very cool. It is a true cactus. And right here we have a Puna. I think these guys have been changed to a different genus, but this is Puna boniae. Very small one, but I've seen very large specimens of this cactus before. This is a Gymnocalycium. What I think is, maybe perhaps a Mehanovichii, maybe something different, but maybe you guys can tell me. Those flowers are freaking gorgeous. This is Gymnocalycium awol dulce right here. Very cool. I love looking at it from the top. Switch here. So there's that guy from the top. Then right here we have a Gymnocalycium Europleurum. Sometimes I just buy them because they're Gymnocalyciums. Very cool looking, short little Gymnocalycium. And back here we have an Astrophytum. I believe that's an Asterias. Very cool. Then right here we have a Copiopoa Carizolensis. That's really pretty. Right here we have the Geometricans, Myrtleocactus geometricans. And if you look in there, some of them are 5 rib and some half are 6 rib. It's kind of cool. Then we have the Spiralis cactus, and if you look bottom right, 4 rib, left 5 rib, this guy 6 rib, and they're all seedlings that I grew myself, and it's just kind of cool to see how that worked out. Moving back over here, we have a Copiopoa esmeraldensis. This is Copiopoa tenuensis. Copiopoa hypogia, just the normal, not the lizard skin. There's Astrophytum caput medusa. Very cool. Starting to get a little flower or some sort of growth right there. We're going to come back over in front here. This is a Neochilenia occulta. Very cool. This is a Neochilenia genusua. Jesu. I'm not sure how you say that. Oh, came with me. Okay. This is a very cool Lobevia. This is Lobevia arachnicantha. Just doing some really cool growth for me. And we'll come back here. This is Lobevia pohoensis. This is Coryphantha retusa. This is my Gymnocalycium. Oh my gosh, my brain just shut off. I did a video on this guy, Succulents. Beautiful, beautiful plant. This guy right here with the bud. Oh, got me good. This is Gymnocalycium. Oh, this is the Viteria. Hello. Single spine Gymnocalycium. Very, very cool. This is Gymnocalycium regonenseo. Very kind of cool looking geometric Gymnocalycium, so that's kind of cool. This guy is a Neoporteria aspilosa. I love my purple cactus. This is Neoporteria cactiensis. Black spine beauty. I love this guy. So pretty. These two are aloe veras that I got from a coworker that he was getting rid of. They were just teeny tiny little pups. These are my succulent peperomia. Let's see if I can get back here. So this long taco one is Peperomia dolibriformis. This is Peperomia axillaris. And then this little guy right here is a very cool Peperomia. This is Peperomia columnea. And I used to keep them indoors because I was told they were low light, and I've since been proven wrong. They were growing very leggy and exfoliated, and I put them out here and they just started growing the way they're supposed to. So they're also very thirsty plants, much more so than some of the other succulents. This is a very cool cactus. This is another type, tubular cactus that has a big root in there that is thick and fleshy. This is all new growth right here. I will make sure to put the name on here. For some reason I don't have a tag. And then we have our Silocerius, I believe. This is Silocerius urbaniensis. Kind of a cool variety because it doesn't have, I don't see any spines, and I don't see any glaucids either. And then we have a real spiny guy. This is another Silocerius. And then this is yet again another Silocerius, I believe. They have really big blossoms. This is Othona capensis, the ruby necklace. Very cool. This was Erwin's favorite. Very pretty. This is a croton that I got from my yard. It had jet black leaves, and so I was like, I had to have it. And it hasn't really produced any more jet black leaves. I mean, jet black. It was kind of cool. And these are a bunch of my propagations of the Jatropha padiogrica, the Buddha belly, that I also took from the botanical garden. This guy right here is starting to develop its namesake Buddha belly. And then right here, as we move up, this is my Tillandsia display. All these Tillandsias just came from Walmart, but they're doing beautiful, growing really well. And they get a lot of water here. They also dry out real quick and have exposure to full sunlight, which I think they love. Now we're gonna do the top shelf here. Whew, I think we're halfway there, guys. This is my, this was Graham's favorite. This is the Lithops garden. So I just ordered like a 30 Lithop variety pack. It also has conophytum in here as well. And like this guy back here, it's amazing. Try to get you guys some close-ups here of all the different colors. I love the green ones. I love the red ones, of course. The orange, the brown. It adds for a real nice display. And then I also put in just different shaped rocks that were similar to kind of add texture and kind of fool people. People always come over here and touch just to see if they're lithops or if they're rocks. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so right here we have this is Ublimania pectinifera. Just one of my favorite. I got it when it was pure purple, and I think as summer comes along, it's going to turn more purple. It started coming green, so Right here is an unknown Copiopoa species. I believe I got this from Green Touch Nursery, and it is one of my favorite Copiopoas. I think it's Copiopoa. Can you guys let me know? There was word that it might be variegated, might not be, but I don't care. It's a beautiful plant. This is a Fralea pygmea. Beautiful little Fralea. And pay attention to the flowers there. The cactus itself doesn't look similar, but the flowers do compared to this guy. This is the donut cactus. This is also Fralea. This is Fralea pectiniferus, I think. What do we get in here? Actually, before that, just... Oh no, this is Fralea castanea. Ouch. Oh, you're getting me, guys. You're getting me good. The cool part about these guys is sometimes they produce flowers that don't actually open. They stay closed, but then it'll just pour out a bunch of really shiny brown seeds. So I have about 50 seeds from this guy. This is Succulents, the violensis, violocidermis, the Rauschii violocidermis. So there's one. I love my Succulents. I love my Rebutia too. But this is Succulents. This is another Succulents right here. Then I have 3 different Rebusias. This is the red, the orange, and this was a freebie, so they didn't come listed. These 2 are Succulents, the violocidermis, just pups. This is a Coryphantha elephantatans pup. Right here is a seedling of a Arioderma deleatii, I believe. I'll have everything listed. Sorry, guys. I get tongue-tied. All right, so then we have Echinocactus, or Fossilocactus. This is Viola ciflora. These guys are known as the brain cactus. Very cool. This guy right here is the Stenocactus, or also known as Echinofossilocactus, Ochotaranensis. This has golden spines, which I freaking love. And right here we have Echinocactus, or Echinofossilocactus, or Stenocactus. This is the species, Multicostatus. So that's kind of cool. Then we have our succulent bromeliads. This is the Deuterochenia brevifolia. These guys are awesome. Awesome plants. Alright, so now we're getting into some of the kind of wacky plants that I freaking love. This is Polysophora acyliformis. And the acyliformis comes from the fact that these aerials look like potato bugs. And they definitely do. So let's see how close we can get here. That's a top view. Then we kind of got a real cool gift here. This is Turbinocarpus in full bloom. So there's the, from the profile, this is Turbinocarpus Pulaski. And the cool thing about cactus is they've been blooming all since January. Here in Hawaii anyway, so it's kind of cool. This is Turbinocarpus pseudopectinalis. It kind of looks like this Glycophora, so it's kind of cool. Then we have Turbinocarpus. I love my turbs, so this is Turbinocarpus Schmidtkianus. You have to have one of these in every collection. You just have to. And you have to tell everybody what it is. That's the rule. This is Turbinocarpus pseudo macrotheli. Get it in there. That's what she said. Okay. Then this is Turbinocarpus Isabella. It's a beautiful one. And also, Toppy. Wow, son of a gun. Just got spined, guys, by another rainbow hedgehog, which I'll show you here in just a second. Okay, so this is a very cool South African plant. This is the Abonia papyracea. These are supposed to look like bird droppings, I believe. Here is a very cool plant that a lot of people call a Copiapoa, like a poor man's Copiapoa, which I don't agree with. This is a Gymnocalycium glauca, and it's definitely glaucous. That thing is beautiful. It's one of my favorite plants. This was also came in as a freebie, and I believe, I don't know if it's a Mammillaria or a turb. I'm not sure. A Copiapoa. I don't know. So any guesses, let me know. This is Matucana Poliski, I think. Right here. Very cool plant. Coming around here. This is the rainbow hedgehog that got me. Got me good. This is Matucana Madisinorum. This is one of my favorite cactus. This is just, the geometric pattern on that is amazing. This is a crested, or the brain Mammillaria. This is the red Irishman Mammillaria. This is Mammillaria spinosissima. Definitely has some nice red spines. This is a, just make sure I don't stab myself. This is a very cool kind of pygmy cactus. This is a Pitholantha micromeris. Very cool. Now we're going to start getting into all my Mammillaria. So we said this is the Mammillaria cristata, and this is Mammillaria polyphely. Beautiful coloring. Look at the sun stressing on that. It's just this gorgeous kind of burnt coral orange. Very pretty. This is Mammillaria verbenensis, another cool tuberculous Mammillaria, and I think Mammillaria get their name. Let's look at this guy right here. From the tubercles that look more like mammary glands. Like little mammary glands. I used to think it was because of the way they grew, they kind of look like boobs, but I think it's from the tubercles. Then this guy right here is a Mammillaria duet, a very cool Mammillaria. This one in bloom, and they typically bloom in this halo style. This is Mammillaria boscana. This is Mammillaria Perez de la Rosa. This is the curled leaf, or the curl spine variety. This is Mammillaria gracilis fragilis. These are the, when I received it, these 6 had fallen off. Actually 9, and I gave 1 away. So the 9 of these fell off, and they all rooted and became their own plants. This is also a little cutting I took from that original cristata. This is Mammillaria gracilis, but it's the Arizona snowcap variety, which is very cool. So very pretty, and it's starting to get tall. This is Mammillaria geminispina. This is not a Mammillaria, but this is Evergoni de Grey. So Evergonia de Grey. This is a true cactus, believe it or not, but it is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. I think it's in time for a repot. This Mammillaria right here is about to bloom. It's so cool. You can see that right there. This is Mammillaria teresiae. Very cool. Can't wait for that to bloom. This is Mammillaria bombacina. Very cool. This obviously is Mammillaria plumosa, the feather Mammillaria. Very cool. This is one that you can pet and touch. Well, a lot of Mammillaria you can touch. This is Mammillaria Huitzilipochtli, which is a Aztec name, I believe, named after an Aztec god. This is Mammillaria elegans. Freaking beautiful plant. We'll come back to these 3 when I can reach on the other side and look at them. Those are all Mammillaria. But then we have Parodia magnifica, the balloon cactus. This guy's awesome. This is one of my favorite Parodias. Parodia is also a very big genus for me. This is Notocactus. Parodia is the newer name, Schlosserai. This is, I have 2 of these. This is Parodia Punungui, and a very cool plant actually. This is the other one I have. This is older. I just recently got this guy. This is Parodia Hasselbangi or Hasselbergi. This guy has a fruit on there. These guys set seed like crazy. I mean, they just do it all the time. So very cool. We're gonna take a break and move to the back section here for me. While I'm over here, I wanted to show my volunteer alocasia, the Frydek, and it just started growing. I mean, we've been here for almost 8 years, and there was nothing over here, and all of a sudden this popped up, and then we have some over here that are popping up. So I'm not sure if they're bird dispersed somehow, or if the corms lied here for 8 years without ever growing. I don't know, but that's the volunteer Frydek. Okay, so here we are on this back section. This is the section that gets less light, and so it's perfect for a lot of succulents that can either handle lower light or need lower light. So right here we have all of my Sansevieria, sorry. I know they've been classed into Dracaena, so this is my starfish Dracaena. This is the whale tail. I believe it's Sansevieria masoni. This is an agave that I took seeds from the cactus garden, so I'm not sure what kind of agave, but you'll see a bunch of the seedlings throughout. This is a Sansevieria, just a random plant that I got at Walmart. This is kind of a cool Sansevieria. This was at the botanical gardens. No, sorry. This was at the luau. And so a coworker, a good friend of mine, got married, so I took a plant as a commemorative. And this was the original, and these are brand new. There's a bunch more of that kind of miscellaneous or unknown agave, and it just, or aloe rather, and it looks so beautiful. I really like it. This is a mother of thousands. I got it as this one leaf, and it has just shot up, and all these little plants are viable, which is why it's very, very invasive. This is the pickle plant. This is a very cool succulent. This is the Crassula mucosa, the chainwatch. This is Crassula trigonus. Here's some more of those aloes. This is Crassula ovata. We have the jade, so we have two variegated ones. And then we have the normal with the nice red rim. Then we have Gasteria. What kind is this? Palanzi. And these guys are due for a repot. There's no doubt about that. This I think is a Gasteria little warty. This is another type of Gasteria, also known as ox tongue. This is the lifesaver plant, Haworthia zebrina. This is an unknown Haworthia. It's a much smaller one. Very, very cool. Hasn't bloomed for me yet. Here's another Caralluma. This is Caralluma hespenetum. And I believe this is also hespenetum. Let's see here. Yeah, so there are two types of hespenetums. I got these as two different cuttings, two different places, but eventually I'll pot them up in the same. Then we get into my Haworthia, or my Haworthiopsis in this case. This is Haworthia limifolia, and I think this is Haworthiopsis spiralis. Okay, then we get into another type of random Haworthia right here. This is another Haworthiopsis growing in a nice little teacup that has no drainage, so I have to be very careful watering that guy. Then we're getting into some very cool Haworthiopsis right here, or Haworthia. This is a random freebie. Then these are Haworthia, and these two are Haworthiopsis. You can kind of see the difference between the two, and then these are Haworthias. This came in as one plant, and I split them up. It had a bunch of pups like it does now, and so the pups are taking off quite well. This is Haworthia the Malhani, which I guess is a hybrid, but this is the normal non-variegated form, which I really like. And then this is my variegated one with the orange tinging to it. It is beautiful. I got this from Sandy's Succulents, and she does a great job with Haworthia. This is a Haworthia Wimmy hybrid, or Wimmy, however you want to say it. This has a lot of red through. Even though it's colder in the winter, hotter in the summer, it maintains its nice coloration. This is Haworthia, another Wimmy, but it's not red. That's kind of cool. This is Haworthiopsis, that's variegated, spiralis. And then we have a Haworthia truncata that's variegated. That's starting to push out some nice growth. And then we'll just come over to this Haworthia truncata right here. This guy is just putting on tons of growth. And then right here we have Haworthia. One's variegated, one's not. And of course there's so many hybrids out there that it's hard to say exactly what it is. But this is Haworthia cuspidata, the variegated one rather. And then we'll move over to those 3 Mammillaria that we weren't able to identify from the other side, but I just want to give you guys a view of from this side. Just beautiful. I love looking at my cactus from pretty much any angle I can. But this guy is Haworthia nehapensis. Beautiful, beautiful. It has a bunch of pups on it. This is Haworthia candida. And while the spines are much stiffer, you can somewhat pet this one. This is Mammillaria histax. And then this is the Parodia magnifica. So, all right, guys, this was the front garden, if you can believe it. This is the majority of my succulents. If you like what you see, definitely give a thumbs up, subscribe. Stay tuned for part 4, where we take a look at what I call the Hoya wall. All right, until then, I'll leave you with this Haworthia candy. See you guys on the next adventure.